She was 21, and completely alone. Not the kind of alone where you enjoy the silence. The kind where silence presses back. Where every empty space feels louder than noise. Where even your own footsteps start to sound like they don't belong. Her name was Liana, and 3 weeks earlier her father had closed the door behind her. Not slammed. Not in anger. Just quietly shut it, as if she had already left long before she walked out. No goodbye, no second chance, no one coming after her, just a backpack, 2 shirts, and $17 that felt smaller every hour. That night she slept at a bus stop, the next night, somewhere worse. By the third, she stopped thinking about home altogether. Then she saw it. A listing. Old. Barely readable. Clock tower. Unclaimed. $5 transfer. $5. For a place no one wanted. She stared at it longer than she should have because something about it didn't feel like opportunity. It felt like the last door left open. So she bought it. No plan, no expectations, just something to belong to. The tower stood alone at the edge of a forgotten town. Stone cracked like dry earth. Windows dark. Clock hands frozen at 3:12 like time had given up. Inside, nothing worked. No lights, no warmth, no safety. And yet something about it felt aware. But what she didn't know was, this place had been waiting longer than she had been lost. And beneath its silent stairs, something had been hidden. Not just forgotten, hidden for someone exactly like her. Before we go further, if stories like this, quiet, emotional, and slowly unfolding, stay with you, consider subscribing. Because some stories don't just entertain, they find you when you need them. Liana didn't grow up with nothing. She grew up with something that slowly disappeared. Her grandfather, Elias, used to say time had a sound. Not ticking, not really, but something softer, something alive. He was a clockmaker, not the modern kind, not digital, not fast. He worked with gears, springs, patience, tiny pieces that only made sense when they worked together. His workshop smelled like oil and wood shavings, warm and safe and alive. Liana used to sit beside him for hours, not talking, just watching. The way his hands never rushed. The way he listened before he fixed anything. Most things don't break, he told her once. They just stop being understood. She didn't fully get it then, but she never forgot it. After he passed, the house changed. Faster voices, shorter patience. Her father sold the workshop within weeks, said it was useless now, said no one cared about clocks anymore. Maybe he was right, because after that everything became louder. Arguments that didn't used to exist, silences that lasted too long. Her mother stopped laughing. Her father stopped looking at her. And Liana learned how to disappear without leaving. Until one night she didn't disappear enough. The argument wasn't big. That's what made it worse. Something about money, about her not doing enough. Then, suddenly the words came. Maybe you should figure it out on your own. And just like that, she was outside. And the door closed. The road to the tower didn't feel like it led anywhere. No signs, no people. Just long stretches of quiet land that looked untouched. The bus driver didn't even ask why she was getting off there, just nodded like he'd seen this before. She walked the rest, her shoes scraping gravel, wind moving through empty fences. The tower didn't appear all at once. It revealed itself slowly. First the top, then the broken edges, then the full shape. It didn't look abandoned. It looked left behind, like something important no one came back for. When she pushed the door open, the sound echoed too far, too deep. Inside smelled like still air, old wood, rust, and something faint, something mechanical, like a memory. Then she saw the stairs, spiral, narrow, leading up into darkness, and beneath them, that floor. Slightly uneven, slightly wrong. She paused for a second, then walked past it. but something inside her didn't. The first night, the tower didn't feel empty. It felt occupied by silence. Heavy silence. The kind that listens back. The wind didn't howl. It vibrated, low and deep, almost like breathing. She barely slept. The second day she explored. Broken tools, rusty gears, pieces of something unfinished. Then, tick. She froze. Waited. Nothing. Then again, tick. Not loud, not clear, but real. And not coming from above. Not from the clock. From somewhere inside. Hidden. It didn't stay. It came and disappeared like it was avoiding her. Every time she followed it, it stopped. Until she stopped chasing it. That's when it returned, leading her back to the stairs, to the floor, again, always there. Waiting. Days passed. The sound didn't stop. Sometimes it came from above, sometimes below. Once, it stopped completely, and the silence felt worse. She started noticing other things. A draft where no window existed. A faint smell of oil, fresh oil, impossible. Then one evening, as the sun fell low, she saw it. A thin line between the floorboards. Too straight to be natural, too hidden to be accidental. Her heart started racing, not fear, something else. Recognition. It took her hours, carefully prying the wood open, piece by piece, her hands shaking, not knowing what she'd find or if she even wanted to. Finally, it lifted, and beneath it, a narrow space, dark, still, waiting. She lowered the lantern and saw a small chamber hidden perfectly beneath the stairs. Inside, a wooden box, and beside it tools, clockmaking tools, old but preserved. Her breath caught. She climbed down slowly, every movement careful, like stepping into someone else's memory. She opened the box. Inside, money. Old bills, bundled, protected. More than she had ever seen in her life. But that wasn't what made her stop. Beneath the money, a letter. Folded, yellowed, familiar. Her hands trembled as she opened it. The handwriting, she knew it. Her grandfather. If you are reading this, then you found your way here. Not by chance, but by patience. The world forgets slow things, but slow things last. This was never about money. It was about remembering. And if you found this, then you're ready. Liana didn't cry immediately. She just sat there, in the quiet, listening. Tick, tick, tick. And for the first time, it didn't feel lonely. She didn't leave, not right away. Instead, she stayed, used the money carefully, fixed the tower slowly, one step at a time. She cleaned the tools, touched them like they were fragile memories. She made mistakes, a lot of them. Gears didn't fit, mechanisms jammed. But she kept going, because for the first time in her life, she wasn't trying to disappear. She was building something. She met a man from a nearby village, an old repairman. He didn't ask too many questions, just showed her small things, how to steady her hands, how to listen to the mechanism, not force it, listen. Weeks turned into months. The tower changed, not dramatically, but quietly. The clock hands moved. Again, slowly, carefully. Time returned. It was never just about survival. It was about connection to something older, something patient, something that didn't rush her. She realized some things aren't lost. They're just waiting. Waiting for the right person to notice, to care, to listen. A year later, the tower stood differently. Not perfect, but alive. People started visiting, not many, but enough. Sometimes they asked about the past, sometimes about the clock, but Liana always smiled the same way, soft, quiet. Because the biggest change wasn't the money, wasn't the tower. It was her. She was still 21 when it began, but she wasn't the same girl anymore. Not the one who was left outside a door. Now she was someone who opened hidden ones. And somewhere beneath her feet, the quiet ticking continued. not as a mystery, but as a reminder that even the smallest moments can carry everything forward. If this story stayed with you, take a moment to subscribe, and in the comments, tell me about something in your life that felt lost, but maybe was just waiting to be found.